Hello and thanks for watching this Acumatica video in our 2019 R1 series of new features. In this video we're going to go over approval reasons. So many times it's important that if you get an approval or a rejection on a document, you want to know the reason. And before 2019 R1 there was just an approval or a rejection, but there was no reason assigned to that action. So let's take a look at approval maps. So we'll search for it in our global search. And we'll add a new one. And it's important to note that this new functionality is only available in certain entity types. Best thing to do is to look in the release notes to see which entity types we support. But for this demo, we're going to do sales quotes. So we'll give it a name. We'll choose the entity type sales quote. We'll add a step. And you'll notice that this whole interface has also been improved a lot. So here, our first step is what condition to do and what action to take. So if no approver is found, we're going to go to the next step. Otherwise, you can automatically reject or approve the document. And if we're automatically approving, like this, we would choose if no approvers found at previous steps. But in this case, we're going to go and leave the defaults, and we'll go down to our rule under this step, and we'll add a rule for underneath the quote object if the amount is greater than $10,000. So that's our rule. Now you can combine multiple rules here. Notice the operator, you can do and or conditions with brackets. But we're going to make this one simple. Now, if this condition is true, then what is our action? So our action based on this condition is to approve by employee. Now, if we have employees selected, then we get a list of our employees here and we could select a specific one. Or we can choose a work group. So in this case, the CEO would be required to approve quotes that are greater than $10,000. And then we have a decision wait time. So if we have additional approvers, then this is the wait time we would configure before those additional approvers would get pinged and requested to approve. So now, if this employee approves, then we could require or make it optional a reason that they approved. And the same thing with regards to reject, we can make that optional or require. Now, just a couple other things here. Under approver, we can also choose employee from document, which means if we hit the plus here, we can choose a field from the document, pulling the employee in as the approver. Maybe you have a custom field that's filled in on this quote, a sales manager, that you can pull from to approve this. Or you could do employees by filter, where you can choose conditions. Maybe, for example, the employee, department, or employee class is equal to XYZ. You could do those kinds of things. This way all those employees will get that approval request. So some really cool options here that simplifies this. But in this case, I'm going to require Michael Andrews approve this. And we'll ask him to give us a reason for approving and a reason for rejecting. And we'll save this. So now let's go create a quote. So we'll go into opportunities. And before we go into our quote, let's go to our management preferences. Because over here we have to define what approval map we're using for quotes. And you'll also notice here's the approval notification template. See our other video about how to create notification templates. So we'll save this. Now we'll go back into opportunities. We'll go into an existing one. We'll go into quotes. We'll create a new one. We're going to use this and pull in the information from the opportunity. It makes it a little easier. And we'll click Create and Review so that we can still edit the quote. So this quote is already above the $10,000 approval limit we put in place. So we'll save it and we'll submit it. And now you'll notice it says pending approval. So we asked Michael Andrews to be the approver here. So let's go in and log in as him. Now we're logged in as Michael Andrews. So we'll go into approvals. And you could see the quote that we just created, the $500,000. And we can come in here, look at the quote in detail, go to actions and either approve or reject. Let's reject this one because there's not enough information on the quote. Acumatica now prompts us for this reason. So we can say labor not properly detailed. So we'll click OK. And now this has been rejected. And now pretend for a second that I'm the salesperson and I open up this quote. I would have gotten a notification email as well if it's configured. But if I go to approval details to see why it's rejected, you can see the reason here now. So now I can take this, I can edit it, I can make the proper changes and submit it again for approval. So that's the new changes with regards to approval maps. There's a lot more to learn. If you have any questions, please see our contact information at the end of the video and reach out to us. Thanks so much for watching.